your affluence, if you will. I think what what's really important though is to know that wherever you are in your journey with relationships, there's the hopeful for the you know everything's going to work out, there's no problems, etc. But we all know that life happens, and not all situations are good, and sometimes you make mistakes, and in the end, what'll happen is will most humans will experience this idea that you might have to recover and rebuild. And what's interesting to us, at least, is that it's very possible to do these things. So, whether what you're hearing is not necessarily a, a treatise on A, partnership, or B, or lack of it, or C, or B, whatever Paul's thinking. He's sticking his head in. Just go with it. It's not about monogamy or polygamy. It's not about uh, situations where people have to make a choice to protect children or loved ones, and relationships, dissolve, or, just folks grow apart. I mean, all these choices matter. It's just that what happens in the equation of abundance is you find yourself, by just the numbers game and Pareto's law, uh, limiting the number of opportunities you have to achieve whatever you consider to be abundant, in terms of a situation. But these rules are universal. They're not bound by, Gaia's continental or geometries, if you will. And what you should should know or embrace is that as humans journey in their life, you're going to encounter all kinds of situations, and some might call them cliche outcomes, if you will, but they're cliche because they're rather universal, and they're universal because it's regrettably math. And so the value of sharing with one person is enormous. Yet there are other situations that are not necessarily romantically based, or, build a family based, or, have a lifelong partnership based. Relationships where, three or more people come together to facilitate a an aligned and mutually beneficial outcome actually have more amplification, if that makes sense to y'all. Um, and I think that's where, communities like the Light and Love Club and other communities, of like-minded individuals, like, forming a company, or a collaborative partnership, really add a lot of value in the scheme of living a well-lived life. In a 5D sense, for sure, would be great if everybody could get there. Yet even in even with 5D humans sharing their abundant life with, you know humans living in lower densities, is quite possible, and very beautiful. I mean, it affords the opportunity for more magnification, and it's beautifully consistent with the idea of the power of the Trinity, or three, that you'll find in some of the more uh, off the beaten path uh, tenets or precepts like Hermeticism. I think it's Hermeticism. It may be Gnosticism, or maybe they're same. Uh, we will let you humans sort out all the distinctions and permutations and combinations, but some of this stuff, you know, goes all the way back to when Thoth and Isis were protagonists in the uh, the celestial dance of gods and goddesses. And mm, oh wow, where all this is heading is really just realize that if you're looking for abundance, finding at least one like-minded person that you can share your life with is enormously catalytic and accelerating. And if you can manage to do that with more than one person, even for short bursts of time, and even if those times end, right? If those windows, if people fall out of your life, etc., so long as when the things dissolve, uh, there is some reasonable strategy in place to mitigate sort of, let's call them, negative abundance consequences. You're going to be all right. You're going to be more than all right. And with that, we would just say, just be grateful. Gratitude is a very powerful influence on the equation of abundance. And one of the first steps of gratitude is to basically visit me in the 0 point, right? And say, hey, what do where am I? What do I really have? And what do I really need? And how do you help me see the blessings and the opportunities associated with what my complicated human, um, is always getting themselves involved with, or perhaps even in a little bit of trouble with, because we are all basically highly uh, emotional blobs of organized uh, goo walking Gaia trying to figure it all out. Um, I don't know whether this triggers anybody or not, but I would just say that people, let's just say couples, married or otherwise, who are living together and amassing just, a modest estate, a small home, a reasonable bank account, and the cars or the transportation. If we go global, or at least to less modern nations, you'll the equation will vary a little bit, but you do that for a few years, and you will find yourself in a rarity basis, like on a gold basis, if you will, as valuable in gold terms as some of the wealthiest people on earth. And I mean, something is ringing so true right now where if you consider the value of just how much influence a small proprietorship has on the lives of the community in which it resides, um, those measures of abundance are truly infinite on infinite. It's it is magic. And with that, just remember to give thanks to the people in your life, the good ones and the bad ones. You don't have to hang out with the bad ones, the kind of downers, but maybe you can, you know, uh, just send them some love. But hang out with those you love, and just remember, hugs and kisses, um, some of the most valuable currencies on the planet. Doesn't matter where Paul has been in the world. He didn't always hug or kiss somebody. Some cultures it was okay to give a little kiss on the side of the cheek or in a gentle, hug. Uh, but it's but you know uh, a connected look in the eye, a respectful presence, and gratitude for the shared moment is a currency that works everywhere on the planet. Um, Paul will know. He's probably been to 39 or so different countries over his life. And but that'll be a different story. And with this, just remember, break bread and hug the people you love and give them a kisses if they'll let you. Um, and we're going to close for now. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Namaste, for the good of all and harm of none.